Boat 628, a Tony Neal tale, part 14 of 42, 9:35 a.m. Laurie enjoyed the fact that her starboard stern position aboard Boat 628 gave her a great view of the river as well as the majority of her shipmates. But she was a bit put off by Patrick having positioned her as far from her husband as the inflatable raft allowed. Normally, Laurie was neither clingy nor needy, but somehow she feared that the promised easy introduction to whitewater rafting that Patrick had sold his cousin on had been ratcheted up quite a few notches thanks to Mother Nature. Aware that her discomfort could be a self-sustaining and power-draining downward spiral of anxiety, she told herself that she was in good hands and that not only was her husband close at hand, but that his cousin, their captain, oh captain, my captain, literally sat just behind her, and that the woman next to her had already reached out to her in a friendly manner. Somehow the fact that her benchmate at the boat's stern, being the only other companion who was not obviously eligible for senior discounts, also seemed to allay her fears, though Laurie likewise recognized the lack of logic that train had taken. Patrick watched the river as well as his guests as he continued to provide instructions as they navigated the wide, slow-flowing, easy-going beginning section of their 9-mile adventure down the Chattooga that lay north of US 76. "Three forward," he declared strictly for instruction's sake, watching how his two bow-position guests responded to instruction and how the other four match-stroked with those at the front of the boat. "Hey, everybody," he hollered following his observations. "Remember, the key is to get it in deep and have long, powerful strokes. Right?" he asked, emphasizing right in order to make clear the double entendre nature of his comment. "Try to get as much of the paddle into the water as you can and apply power the entire length of your stroke. The more predictable the power is that we produce, the easier it is to steer us away from trouble. Here's another command you'll probably hear. Left side, 2 strokes. Patrick noted that Frankie seemed to hesitate slightly, which caused both Tony and Rachel to do likewise, an observation he filed away with an internal note to use their slow time to prepare for the rougher sections. "Okay, same drill, opposite side," he continued. "When I call out right side only, then only the right side paddles." Pausing a moment, he directed, "Right side, 3 paddles," a direction with which Gene complied better than Frankie had, which led to Johnny paddling in a more synchronized way than the port side had, though Laurie seemed a bit lost. "Good," he said. "It's likely we'll need to paddle backwards and possibly even in a circle. So if you hear 3 strokes backwards, you'll need to do just that," he said before hollering, "3 strokes backwards," a command that was also followed with varying degrees of aptitude. Good, good. In super tight situations, we may need the right and left sides to take opposite but equal actions in order to achieve our desired reaction. So if I say left forward 2, right back 2, that's what you'll need to do pronto. The one side forward, one side back paddling is for when we're in that creek that we've all heard of. You know, shits. We'll practice a couple of those next, and then I'll throw out some random commands while we're here in lazy river territory. That way we'll be ready when we need to be. "See that big rock coming up on our left?" he asked. "Yeah," Francis replied, his voice sounding a bit nervous. "That's What's Up Rock, our water level guide. When we get to the downstream side, you'll see where it's been marked for height. Yesterday's trip, the water level was barely 1 foot. Anybody want to guess how deep it is now?" 4 feet, Rachel hollered. "Whoa, I hope not," Patrick replied. 3 feet 4 inches is max height for some of our rapids. I'm guessing 3 feet 2. When we get close, be prepared to back paddle, and I'll get a good look at the gauge," he said with a smile. "Left forward 2, right back 2.